Hey guys, how are we doing? So we're back on another Mother's Basement video. It's been a while since we've done a What's in an OP, and I've recently finished watching Mob Psycho 100, and it has to have one of the most interesting OPs there, because there's a lot going on. Like, I remember, ever since watching these What's in an OP videos now, whenever I watch an OP for an anime, I'm always trying to piece together little bits for explanation of the story, or whether it's telling the narrative or whatever. Like Angels of Death, you've seen Angels of Death, and you keep note of everything that's happened in the episode so far. Basically, the intro OP is like showing you how the story is progressing. Anyway, so let's just get into this. This is I'm super intrigued to see what he's got to say on this. This is What's in an OP, Mob Psycho's 100's Hidden Secrets.
Alright. Ever since I teased it when I covered the ED, you guys have been hounding me to cover the Mob Psycho 100 OP.
Because
And
there's
again,
so much
I think there's good reason for that. This OP is freaking incredible. So much so that I had to reevaluate my top 10 OPs of all time list that I'm doing for my 100,000 subscribers special.
Sweet.
Even though I'm almost at 200,000 subscribers now. Which, of course, means that I was inevitably going to cover it. I just had to read the manga in order to catch the metric ton of references that are hidden in this OP. But I appreciate you guys bullying me and pestering me in order to keep me on track, and also giving me all of these comments that I can throw on screen, so I seem like one of those big, important YouTubers that people actually care about. Also, like one of those big, important YouTube channels, I recently opened a post office box so that I can receive fan mail. So if you've got something that you've been itching to send me, provided that it's not anthrax, you can shoot that over to P.O. Box 54066, Central Lonsdale, North Vancouver, British Columbia, area code V7M2J0. I'll be opening whatever you guys send me at least once a month on the channel at the end of one of these videos, so look forward to seeing that. Now, without further ado, the Mob Psycho 100 OP starts with a thoroughly novel group shot of the series' main cast, with each character framed on a sign in a gorgeous neon-tinged cityscape.
It's so nice.
Mob, Reagan, Ritsu, Teruki, and Misato all appear on these signs, but all we can see of them is their eyes. This primes us to follow the eyes of other characters and pay attention to what they tell us about their emotions, as well as look for the shape of eyes hidden in the environment.
Oh, of course, there we go.
The third eye is, of course, one of the key symbols of psychic power.
Yeah, makes sense.
And Mob's eyes, in particular, are shown prominently in
they're
the OP
bigger than
to
everyone else's.
emphasize his power. We're treated to one hell of a Sakuga moment as the camera begins rolling forward through the scene and flying through the streets of the city before pulling back to an extreme fisheye shot of the cityscape framing the moon. The skyline forms the shape of Mob's eye, once again showing his overwhelming power over the world. It's such an effective shot that they reincorporated it into the final episode of the show itself.
Yeah.
The contrast with how they show it there versus how they show it here reveals a deeper meaning. Ishiguro fantasizes about rising up above the world, whereas Mob descends into it, which makes sense since his goal as a character is to become more normal and likable. The wild, rough style of animation that Mob is rendered in suggests that this may be a representation of the hidden power that shows itself whenever he's unconscious.
Right.
Which
because he's got a very dead look there.
Mob's true power may come from somewhere beyond our world. As this figure descends, the color of all the lights in the city changes from purple to yellow, perhaps indicating that the arrival of this spirit, or whatever it is, changed the nature of Mob's world. This, coupled with the anime original fight that kicks off the first episode, seems to indicate that Studio Bones knows more about Mob than has thus far been revealed in the manga. The world closes in, bringing us to a shot of a vacuum tube clock as it begins counting up to 100.
The counting's just so simple as well for singing along to.
Build-up of Mob's emotions. Here we're introduced to Mob and Reagan as they walk away from the camera, with various objects, including a bent spoon and Reagan's bag of table salt, floating around them. We pull down from their
Stupid
plodding
techniques.
feet to the ocean floor, which possibly represents Ritsu sinking into despair as depicted on the cover of Volume 4.
Oh, right.
Or it could just be a hint at power lurking beneath the surface. It's unclear. Almost
very unclear,
every
like a lot of
shot
stuff.
flows smoothly into the next one like this.
Yeah, it's so
There
good.
are very few hard cuts in this OP, which is something that always impresses me when I
Yeah,
see it.
when there's so much
The
going on.
OP does another thing that I always appreciate as well. It finds creative ways to integrate its credits, such as having them break apart in the water or appear in the vacuum tube displays. And even the credits that don't have their own physicality are integral to the visual composition of each shot.
Yeah, it all blends
balancing
in,
out
doesn't
the
it?
other
Nothing's out
elements
of
in
place.
frame. They appear and disappear as part of the animation, and the animation is designed to draw your eye to them. This is the most effective use of credits that I've seen since... Nah, I don't want to spoil that 100K special. We slide past Misato with her camera,
Fair enough,
and in the
that's
background we see Mob struggling to keep up with the Body Improvement Club as they run
Body
up
Improvement
a
Club's
motion
amazing.
graphic. Tracking left, we see a collage of psychic phenomena and
Yeah,
elements of
a
the
lot
show.
going on.
Notably, we can see Karada Tomei, Reagan, and Mob's crush Tsubomi, as well as the floating dog that Mob used in an attempt to impress her back when he was a kid.
Yeah.
The flying car is a reference to the second Claw arc of the manga, where Mob flies over the city in a car, and later similar cars are used as a diversion against Claw. The
Oh,
potted tomato
I thought it
plant,
was
which we'll get a better look
because
at
they
a little later
use
on,
a flying
was
car to
grown
get to
with
where
the
the
power of
bad guys are near the
chlorokinesis
end,
that
the
Mob
anime.
learned in the manga by defeating the evil spirit Wiggly figure.
Oh, wow.
This power sets up an important plot point for the current arc of the manga, but we'll get to that when we
Need to
get
beat
to
the
it.
manga.
Also in the background, there's a piece of takoyaki, which is Mob's favorite food.
Nom, nom, nom.
Moving right along, footloose and fancy-free, we see the Earth itself, possibly alluding to Claw's designs on world domination. Beside it, there's a row of cell phones.
Oh, of course,
with
Claw's the bad
Mob's
guys,
face
aren't
in
they?
them,
Sorry.
Perhaps in reference to the rumors spread about him after he liberated Dimple's cult and beat up Teruki. Zooming into the last phone screen, we see Mob standing in front of a bursting egg and tomato, while various torn papers swirl around
He's
his
so
head.
mad.
These are pages of a novel, written by a girl who confesses her feelings to Mob on a bet after he embarrasses himself while running for student council.
Oh.
You're going to see as we keep going that this OP references some deep cuts from the manga. Some
really
of them
does,
are
okay.
possibly deeper
I
than
need to
even
read the
am
manga, I don't
capable
mind
of
this.
recognizing. I have no idea what the hell these mushrooms that Mob and the Body Improvement Club are exercising
That's why I was
on are
intrigued to
supposed
see what he has
mean.
to say.
But knowing this series, it could well be a literal translation of something that I just missed in the manga. Assuming this shot is metaphorical, the way that the delinquents crash through their peaceful training session like literal missiles could be foreshadowing of what they do to Mob in order to get at Teruki. Likewise, the water filling up in front of Reagan could foreshadow how Mob fills him up with power in the last episode of the series so that Reagan can fight Claw in his stead.
It's amazing.
It could also simply be an artistic shot taken
It
from the
could simply
perspective
just be
of a
artistic,
client
couldn't
in
it?
his office being poured a glass of water, though. Following this, we see Karada Tomei's head open up and all of her wild imaginings about telepathy
she's
and
like,
paranormal
aliens.
spill out. The rough style in which they're rendered indicates that these are childish fantasies. Interestingly, for one frame, you can see her own face inside her mouth.
Never noticed that.
Dimple's cocky attitude really shines through in this character shot, although there isn't much deeper meaning behind it. Likewise, there isn't much to this shot of Teruki. It's simply a more stylized, psychedelic version of a shot taken straight from the anime where he attacks Mob. The cornfield image references the cover of the manga's second tankobon volume, but the context is different here. The original cover depicted Mob's loneliness and isolation, while setting up the similarly lonely Teruki's animosity toward him in the back cover. The new version shows him together with his brother, but the two of them are floating independently of one another, isolated in a different way. The lonely image is also given a comedic edge by the reactions of the telepathy club. Next, we see Mob and Tsubomi reflected in salt crystals, which could be a reference to either Salt Middle School or the bag of table salt that Reagan sometimes uses in exorcisms. The latter seems more likely since the music picks up as he pops out and splashes the screen with salt to disrupt Mob's reverie. Mob choir cheers and the OP kicks into high gear, panning across a bombastic, vibrant carnival scene. In a
So
broad
much going
sense,
on.
it evokes the wild nature of youth, but it is also composed entirely of many references to the show
Yep.
and manga itself,
There's the recorder.
including Reagan's agency, Dimple's cult,
Dimple.
and a non-spoilery allusion to the sacred tree. The various creature designs are all taken from the info dump at the start of the first episode.
Oh, right, of
and
course,
in the
yeah.
background, you can see a brief glimpse of more flying cars and dogs,
Yeah.
the recorders that were used to force Tenga out of class,
Mhm.
and a poster for the Psycho Helmet cult.
All right,
The
yeah.
rapidly growing tomato plant brings us up to a classroom door, which the student council president slides open, revealing a hooded
God,
silhouette
so cool how it
within
just
which we
flows.
see the headquarters of Claw. This foreshadows how the president's actions cause Ritsu to awaken his psychic abilities and end up putting him in Claw's sights.
Yeah.
Ishiguro appears and leans into the camera to menace us, and in his eyes we see the glowing symbol of Claw. Zooming in,
So
we're shown
awesome.
a lineup of the various
There's
scars
the
who
members.
lead Claw's division in Salt City. The
Scars is so
symbol
cool,
leaves a
having all the
deep
different
impression in
horror
the
effects.
concrete behind it, again alluding to their world-dominating ambitions. From here, we cut to an outline of Mob, depicted at the center of a twisting maze, with his heart as the goal. Energy flows through his body and straight into his heart, which could be taken as his emotions reaching 100% capacity. However, given what we see next, it has an even clearer and more straightforward meaning than that. As the energy reaches Mob's heart, it erupts
Explodes.
into a massive nuclear explosion, which then forms into a
Bro,
piece of
right, come on,
rocket.
explain this.
You may think that this is some kind of obscure metaphor.
Yeah.
It is not.
Right.
This is a direct, literal depiction of a thing that happens in the manga
No
when
way.
Mob fights Claw's leader.
Okay.
He takes the leader's energy into himself to prevent an explosion, and it ends up flowing into a broccoli seed in his breast pocket, which expands to the size
Oh.
of a massive tree.
Well, I'm so
full
glad I got
of
that
psychic
explained,
energy.
'cause my
This
God, that
ends
confused
up being
me.
the inciting incident for the story's next arc, which happens to involve Dimple. And funnily enough, the broccoli ends up turning into
Into
him
Dim-
in the OP. Again, this is
Wow.
all pretty literal, which surprised me when I got to that point in
Yeah.
the manga. When I first watched the OP, I just thought that the animators
Just-
were taking artistic liberties
Yeah,
and having
that's what I
fun,
thought. It was like, just
which
being weird
makes
with
me
it.
wonder if they know something we don't. I
Yeah.
want to say that Reagan burning his mouth on this takoyaki as it turns into the sun references what happens to him in the second
Yeah.
episode, but it could easily be a hint at the next arc one has planned. This series is certainly weird enough for that.
It definitely is.
References aside, let me just say that I love artsy transforming animations
Yeah,
like
it
this.
flows
There's
so
something
well.
really magical about watching one object seamlessly
Turn into
morph
another.
into another
Yeah.
before your eyes. And I wish that more anime shows would make use of this technique. Reagan is replaced by a twisting
Spoon.
mass of spoons that turns into Ritsu, referencing how his power awakens. In the background, we see Mob's eyes staring into him, but he's too ashamed to meet his brother's gaze, or ours. This is the moment where he's on the precipice of falling into darkness.
Right.
And turning into a cactus, another reference to imagery from the manga,
No way.
means he's falling deeper and deeper
That's
into
amazing,
despair,
okay.
feeding on the negative emotions.
I just
that
thought it was all
gave birth
completely
to the
random. This is
powers in
awesome.
the first place. Things take on a lighter tone very quickly, however, as the cactus is covered with Teruki's
Yeah, his
ridiculous,
wig.
misshapen wig. Teruki looks determined for a brief moment, but he is utterly blown away by Mob's power.
Yeah.
As Mob enters his unknown percent state, he's rendered in an extremely rough, sketchy art style. This is done to emphasize the immense, untamable nature of his hidden powers. Powers great enough to shake the foundations of buildings and indeed the very earth itself.
Yep.
This
So
final
powerful.
explosion brings us into the title, while in the background pages from the manga flip rapidly by. As the music reaches its final note, the title is colored in, then fades away to bring us back to the
To where we
cityscape.
started, yeah.
The OP forms a complete loop, leaving us
Yeah.
to repeat the cycle
That's
of Mob's
cool.
emotions building up and then releasing. This is so damn cool and
Yeah,
well done,
isn't it?
especially with how almost every shot in the OP flows into the next one seamlessly.
I love it.
The few hard cuts in this OP do diminish the effect a little, and I kind of wonder if the original intent wasn't to make the whole thing seamless like this.
Right.
But even as it stands, it is beyond impressive what they've accomplished
great.
here.
I love
And
it.
even without the gimmick, this OP really shines, giving you a strong impression of each character's personality.
I like how it like slows
the
down in
themes of
places
the
and then
show,
speeds up
and the
again and
quirky
slows down
nature
again.
of the humor and action. Plus, it presents the titles in an interesting way, which is very, very important for an OP to do. 99
The
by
song's
Mob
so good
Fire
as well.
sucks me in like almost
Brilliant,
no
yeah.
other OP I've ever seen. I love this OP to pieces, and I'd love to hear what you think about it, so please leave a comment
The
below and
song's so
let
good.
me know. I appreciate your feedback. Heck, I appreciate you even watching this video in the first place. And I'm especially grateful if you're one of the generous patrons who makes it possible for me to do this for a living. You guys are my heroes. Wait, this is the wrong animated name.
That's
Ho
great.
ho! Hey, stop the presses.
Uh-oh.
Not even gonna turn on the proper microphone for this. Just got back from the post office.
Right.
I went to check to see if I got anything because I put out the P.O. box on Twitter a couple days ago.
Ah.
And I only got one letter, but that makes sense since I put it out like a week ago, and it takes time for things to ship here. And this came from Seattle, which is very close. So Trey Allen in Seattle sent me a letter, and I'm gonna open it up and
Okay.
see what's inside. All right.
This is interesting.
Okay, so Trey Allen is the guy who runs. He's the guy who runs my Jeff Thu Quotes and Jeff Thu Rumors Twitter.
Right.
And he sent this
We will
delightful
expose the
little
truth
letter.
about you.
We will expose the
Here's
truth
what's
about
secret
you.
in
We
the
will
movie.
show the world who you really are. We are always watching.
That's
We
fun.
are always collecting evidence. We are grateful that you followed us on Twitter at Jeff Thu Rumors.
God.
Oh, God. Yeah, thanks, Trey, for sending that in. Now, back to your regularly scheduled anime analysis. Or, well, actually, it'll be
That was so
part,
weird.
but thank you. Love you, Trey. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more things about Mob Psycho, then I recommend checking out my analysis of the show's excellent ED over there. And of course, be sure to subscribe to Mother's Basement and turn on notifications so that you don't miss a single video I make. But for now, I'm Jeff Thu, professional shitbag, signing out from my mother's basement.
Yeah. That was good. That was really good. Because there was so much in that OP where I was just like thinking it's just really random choices of pictures like the broccoli and the cactus and that, but no, it turns out they're actually references to the manga. Which is like, oh, that's cool. Oh my god. Awesome. That was cool. So, yeah. Learn something new every time. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys, yes, all of you guys, next time.